A 10-year-old cowherd boy's biggest dream was to eat some meat, and then a dying old man fell from the sky. Without a word, he shoved a bronze tripod into his palm and said, "Become my adopted son. I'll make sure you have meat to eat." Before he could even agree, the entire village was ground into mincemeat. Who was the murderer? No idea. All he knew was that the old man's surname was Zhao, and the only reason he survived was because he went chasing after his cow. My name is Wolf Boy, and not a name my parents gave me, just what the villagers called me. They said a hunter found me in the mountains and that I might have been raised on wolf's milk. Who knows? I can't even pinpoint my own age, but the old medicine man said I'm about 10. For 10 years, my biggest dream was to have a full meal. A bigger dream? Meat to eat. Don't you laugh. To you, meat is nothing. To me, it's something I wouldn't even dare to think too hard about in my dreams. The villagers said my eyes would glow green when I smelled meat, just like a wolf. What does meat taste like? Some say when you bite into it, the fat bursts open, spreading fragrance from your mouth all the way to your stomach. I've never had it. I can't imagine it. It hasn't been easy for me to survive this long. There were 2 master mas in the village, one later left, and the remaining master ma took over all the village's land. He owned 5 plow oxen and hired me to tend them. What did he give me? Broken brown rice, potato bits, chaff, and I lived in the cowshed. A few feet were partitioned off with wooden stakes, with a bit of straw spread out. That was home. Cow dung was good stuff for compost, plastering walls, and drying to burn as fuel. But the dung in the cowshed belonged to Master Ma. I couldn't touch it. I had to wait until the oxen dropped theirs outside. Then I'd collect it, dry it, and trade it for a pinch of broken rice, a few rotten cabbage leaves, and a fingernail's worth of salt. When starving, I'd steal the chickens and duck chaff. It scraped my throat, and I couldn't shit, so I had to dig it out with my fingers sometimes until they bled. I survived thanks to the old doctor. He wandered into our village, bringing yellow potatoes and red potatoes, plant them, and they'd yield crops that filled bellies. Only after the villagers had surplus grain did they take turns saving a bite for me. The old doctor taught me to read and write, to recognize herbs and diagnose illnesses. He never adopted me, but he was no different from a master. That day, while herding the cattle, I found a patch of grass. I slapped the rumps of the 5 oxen and shouted, "Eat up. After you're done, drop plenty of wild dung. Cow dung is money." But those dumb oxen wouldn't listen. I scolded them a couple of times, and they just got agitated and started running wild. How dare these stupid beasts get mad at me? No sooner had I spoken than a loud boom echoed in the distance, the ground trembling beneath my feet. The 5 oxen were scared out of their wits and bolted off. Worthless creatures. Seeing it was still early, I didn't bother chasing the cattle right away. I ran toward the direction of the blast. The ground was split open into a large crater, and lying inside was a man who had fallen from the sky. I slid down to take a look. It was an old man, bleeding from his forehead, dressed in clothes even finer than what Master Ma wore. "Hey, are you dead?" The old man suddenly opened his eyes. "What place is this?" "A crater," I replied. "What's the name of this place?" "Banyan Tree Village." "Are you stupid or what?" I couldn't be bothered to argue with him. I pulled out the dinner. I carried with me a lump of mush made from red potato grains, chaff, and broken rice, usually eaten as a wild vegetable dish. I also had a water hyacinth brought by the old village doctor. Its leaves and flowers are edible. I used it to dress his wound. "What are you doing?" the old man asked. "Stopping the bleeding." The old man's eyes darkened. "Forget it. Meeting you before I die is fate." He suddenly grabbed my hand. A palm-sized bronze tripod appeared out of nowhere. Before I could ask, it shrank to about an inch and drilled into the palm of my right hand, disappearing. "You're pulling a trick, aren't you?" The old man ignored me. He asked, "Do you want to cultivate immortality?" "What's so good about immortality?" "Immortality lets you live forever. Drink the wind and feed on dew." "Drink the wind and feed on dew?" That's worse than me. My dream is to eat meat. Aren't you about to die? And you talk about immortality? The old man choked, glaring at me, then said, "What about sword flying? You can soar through the sky. Like you, falling down and dying. Can you stop saying I'm going to die?" I looked at him seriously. "You're bleeding a lot. There's an old village doctor in our village." "Too late. I'll fall apart if I move." "What's your name?" "Wolf Boy." "Your real name?" "Orphan." "No formal name." "Orphan, that's good. I mean, I can be your adoptive father." My eyes widened. "I want to save your life, but you want to be my dad?" "My dad might have been eaten by wolves. If you want to be my dad, you're dead for sure. The old man took a deep breath. Change the approach. Become my adopted son, and you'll have meat to eat. My heart skipped a beat. No one had ever taken me in, and I'd dreamed of eating meat for 10 years. I'll give you a domineering name, Zhao Wuji. Zhao, why not Yi? The old healer told stories all the great sword heroes were named Yi, Lin, Xiao. You're Zhao. No wonder you'd get yourself killed. Puff, the old man spat blood. I'll be infuriated to death by you first. I go by Zhao for meat, but Wuji is useless without a chicken. How about wubbing? You're picking and choosing. Listen up. Your name is Zhao Wuji, and you're my adopted son, Zhao Yinlong. He pressed his hand on my forehead, and a wave of warmth surged through my body. I'm laying the foundation for you. There are some things you'd be better off not knowing now. They'd only harm you. I've sealed them away. You'll remember them when you're strong enough. Above all, don't reveal our identities to anyone. Okay, how many copper coins do you have? What copper coins? Didn't you say I'd have meat to eat? How can I buy meat without money? Zhao Yinlong spat blood again. Go. Don't look back. Don't bury me. Before he finished, his hand went limp, his eyes glazed over, and his whole body collapsed. He was dead. I checked his breath, truly dead. This was the first time I saw a person die, right before my eyes. Don't bury me, I muttered. You even dug your own grave. I knelt and kowtowed 3 times. After that, you became my father. I listened to my father, no burying. After a body search, there wasn't a single coin, just that fine suit of clothes. I hesitated, but in the end I didn't strip him. Too immoral. I memorized his face and climbed out of the pit. I went to find the cows. 5 dumb cows had run into a ravine. When I led them back to the village, they refused to go that stretch no matter what. I took a big detour, and when I got back to Banyan Tree Village, it was almost dark. The village? Where was the village? I rubbed my eyes hard. The giant banyan tree that grew like a forest by itself was still there, but Banyan Tree Village was gone. It wasn't a ghost. Mesa was really gone. The whole village had been flattened to the ground, as if crushed by a giant stone roller. Master Ma's brick and tile mansion was shattered. The mud brick houses were shattered. The thatch cottages were shattered, all shattered, flattened. The villagers? The old doctor? I rushed over barefoot, ignoring the sharp pain of debris stabbing my soles. Bang, I hit something, and the next thing I knew, I was lifted into the air. A middle-aged man grabbed my clothes, ripping them apart. I fell to the ground naked. You just got back from herding cattle, he said, glancing at the 5 oxen behind him. He had figured it out. I looked up and stared at him. It was you who wiped out our entire village, I said, feeling around on the ground and prying up a stone. A brat like you knows what wipe out means. You're the villain from the martial arts stories. If you want to root out the problem, just kill me. Why destroy the whole village? I hurled the stone with all my strength. Being short, I couldn't hit his head, so I aimed for his crotch. After hitting him, I scrambled toward the cattle, but before I could get far, he grabbed my arm and lifted me up. At such a young age, you're already so vicious. You're not vicious? You destroyed the village while everyone was making dinner. What kind of good person are you? Kill me. The middle-aged man set me down. Listen, I didn't destroy your village. I was passing by, noticed something wrong, and rushed over to save people. Is anyone else alive? Only you. The rest all became. He didn't finish, but I understood. I shuddered all over. The killer was after Zhao Yinlong. My foster father told me not to bury him, so that the enemy could confirm he was dead and not implicate others. But the whole village was still wiped out. If I hadn't chased the ox in the mountain gully, I would have died too. The middle-aged man wore a look of disgust. Given you, listen less to tales of sword heroes. You have some talent, but far from a genius. You were herding cattle in the mountains and barely escaped with your life. I kept silent and didn't betray Zhao Yinlong. The murderer is too strong, I can't find any traces. I am Lu Yan, a disciple of the Tianyin sect. I must rush back to report to the sect leader. The Tianyin sect sounds like an evil sect, but I can't worry about that now. I immediately hugged his thigh. Take me to cultivate immortality. I want revenge. I'm even willing to join the Tianyin sect. You may be willing, but we are not, he replied. You are too old. With such little talent, we won't take you. I'm only 10. Children from cultivation families are soaked in medicinal baths from birth and start training at 2 or 3. How can you compare? Out of 100 disciples, barely any come from ordinary families. I was struck silent. If you don't take me away, I won't survive. Tears streamed down my face. The middle-aged man was silent for a while, then said, "Forget it. Cultivation also depends on fate. The village was destroyed by demons. I happened to pass by, and you happened to survive. This is fate." He thought for a moment. "I'll come pick you up in 3 days." 3 days? You won't come back. I am Lu Yen. What kind of man do you take me for? Tomorrow, if nothing unexpected happens tomorrow at noon, at the latest by evening. And saying nothing unexpected usually means something will go wrong. Lord Lu, you can't die. He pulled out a finger-sized object, a jade slip from the Heavenly Eanes sect. I didn't make it. If you see any disciple of the Heavenly Eanes sect, show this to them and have them bring you to me. I took it. I don't even know where the Heavenly Eanes sect is. How am I supposed to meet any of its disciples? What if the villains who destroyed the village come back to finish the job? The most dangerous place is the safest. For you? Not worth it. He summoned a flying sword, leaped onto it, and soared into the sky, disappearing into the night riding the sword. I collapsed to the ground and wailed. I should bury the old medic, but with the village flattened like this, how? Everything I dug up was human pancakes. Tired of crying, I led the cow to the big banyan tree and huddled among the 5 cattle for a bit of safety. I couldn't lose the jade slip. I had no pocket. Holding in my hand, I was afraid I'd fall asleep and drop it. After thinking for a while, feeling uncomfortable holding it, I tucked it into a place I always carried with me. That way I wouldn't lose it. The night wind was cold, but it couldn't blow away the souls of the dead from the village. I had nightmares all night, shivering and trembling. When I woke again, I was startled by the cows mooing. Well, I opened my mouth to shout, but found my mouth was gagged and my hands tied behind my back. Many people appeared among the village ruins, folks from the neighboring Qingshitang village. Master Yang led a group of indentured laborers digging up Master Ma's foundation, searching for treasure, grain, clothes, and bedding. The whole village was dead. Collect everything first, then report to the authorities. The officials won't bother anyway. Hurry and take my cattle back. And take me this runaway little bonded laborer back too. Master Yang was shouting. Panic seized me. He was going to claim both me and the 5 oxen. Once taken away, the officials would never sort it out. The oxen have no names written on them, and my forehead isn't carved with under the banyan tree. Whatever Master Yang says goes. No, I have to wait for immortal Master Lu Yen. I want to cultivate immortality. I want revenge, but I'm tied up, my mouth stuffed. I can only struggle as the oxen are led away. Someone came to drag me. I twisted desperately, my eyes fixed on the sky. Master Lu said he'd come by noon, at latest by dusk. But it's still morning now. This little brat sure puts up a fight. I was hoisted up and carried out of the village. I screamed, but with a cloth wad in my mouth, all that came out were muffled whimpers. The entire village under the banyan tree was flattened. When the villagers of Qingshui Pond discovered it, they were terrified. But a landlord is a landlord. Upon hearing the news, old Master Yang immediately brought people to profit from the dead. This was free money, no matter what they dug up, it was theirs. Even the bonded laborers had a chance to secretly pocket something. Everyone worked with great enthusiasm, but the few who were herding cattle were annoyed. Each trip back and forth meant missing out on plenty. You take the cows. From now on, you'll herd cattle for old Master Yang, and you'll eat and drink well. Disobey, and I'll whip you right now. If you dare to run, I'll bash your head in with my hoe and bury you on the spot. The 5 oxen wouldn't obey, pulling hard. They threatened Wolf Boy with thorny branches. The thorns on the branches would stab into the flesh when whipped, and pulling them out could even tear off small pieces of skin. The tips of the thorns were very fine and easily broke off inside the flesh, hard to pick out even with a needle. The pain would linger for a long time. Wolf Boy dared not resist. He quickly nodded. After being untied, Wolf Boy led the 5 oxen toward Qingshui Pond village. Old Master Yang wanted both the cattle and the people. If you couldn't escape, you'd become the landlord's family slave. The Wolf Boy struggled desperately to come up with a plan, but he was too young and inexperienced. All he could rely on were the oxen. 5 oxen running wild and crazy was dangerous, but they were still honest plow oxen. Even though he had raised them well, he couldn't make them attack people. The people behind were urging him on. The Wolf Boy was afraid of the thorns himself and also feared that the old oxen would be beaten, so he didn't dare delay. The closer they got to Qingshuiping village, the more panicked the Wolf Boy became. He would definitely be locked up. Cultivators valued their time. Lord Lu wasn't his relative, and coming out of a sense of loyalty, was already generous. If he didn't see anyone, he would surely fly away immediately, and there would be no more chances. The wolf boy thought as he looked around, searching for an opportunity to escape. The jade slip. The wolf boy couldn't help but clench inwardly, wondering if the jade slip could send some kind of signal. The river. The wolf boy's heart raced. This river was the last chance. Where do you think you're going, you little beast? You want a taste of the whip, don't you? As soon as they noticed him leading the oxen toward the river, they immediately started cursing behind him. They were afraid the oxen would run wild, so they didn't dare actually whip the cattle, but they dared to whip the wolf boy. Kids can't resist, and no one stands up for orphans. Beating them is just wasted effort. I lead the cattle to water every morning. Today it's past time. They're throwing a tantrum. I'm afraid if we go into the village, they'll run off looking for water. Wolf boy quickly shouted something. The cattle are indeed restless, but actually they want to stop and graze. In the village, there are old folks and children. The hired hands are also afraid the cattle will go berserk and trample someone. Drink up quickly and get up here. If you dare to run, I'll beat you to death when I catch you. The river is small and not deep. Trying to escape by jumping in, it's easy to catch you. Wolf boy led the cattle to the river and abruptly flung the reins at the ox's head. Escape. He let out the loudest scream and jumped into the river. The startled herd, without their nose rings being held, immediately turned and stampeded, causing several hired hands to back away in fear. A cowherd's life is cheap. The cattle are valuable, but the reins are tangled on the cow's horn. Who dares to go pull them? Block them. Don't let them escape. Just wait. I'll beat that little beast to death. Look out. It's charging toward us. Watch out for the horns. The water was less than waist deep. Langwazi waded and stumbled across the riverbed, half running, half swimming, reaching the opposite bank. Without a moment's pause, he hurried far away. Run. Can't stop. The only chance at immortality. Langwazi hadn't eaten since last night, his body weak with hunger, but thinking that his entire life's fate hinged on today, he could only grit his teeth and push forward. Even if going to Tianin's sect meant serving as a beast of burden for the immortal masters, it was still a step up from serving a landlord. Oh no, the jade slip. Langwazi staggered forward, feeling the jade slip about to slip from its hidden place, and quickly reached in to dig it out. After running about half a kilometer, when he could no longer hear the shouting behind him, Langwazi collapsed onto the grass, gasping for air, seeing stars, and feeling dizzy. He had no shoes. In his panic, he had taken a bumpy path, and from the soles of his feet to his calves, he was cut in many places by stones and grass. Can't stop. Must return to the banyan tree before noon. There might be snakes in the grass. If bitten by a venomous snake, he won't be able to move. Langwazi, panting heavily, climbed to his feet, then found a tree and climbed up to look around, using Kingshutang village to reverse orient himself. The wolf boy lived like a stray dog, but today he was a homeless cur, constantly on edge, flattening himself in the grass whenever he heard voices from afar. Back near the banyan tree, he dared not show himself, finding a patch of tall grass to crawl into and lie low. The flattened village had been dug into pits and holes by the Qingshui Pond villagers, a bloody smell drifting through the air. But they didn't dig up any bodies. They weren't helping to collect the dead. They were after valuables, stopping as soon as they exposed hair or clothing. A table was set up under the banyan tree, the kind with collapsible legs that could be folded together like scissors and opened to form an X shape, with the tabletop placed on top. On it sat a large teapot, with a bench beside it that Mr. Yang had provided for everyone to drink water and rest. Mr. Yang himself sat in a rattan chair under the tree's shade, overseeing the work. Many things were destroyed, vases, ornaments, and such, which no one understood. Mr. Yang deeply regretted it, but after all, it was looting Lord Ma's estate. Everything was free picking, so the haul was still massive. Work a little harder, and I'll give you steamed buns later. Wolf Boy, crouching in the grass behind, heard this and noticed that beside Master Yang there was a basket filled with steamed buns. He couldn't help swallowing saliva. His stomach, already past the point of hunger, began to churn again. Wolf Boy couldn't imagine what meat tasted like, but occasionally he could get small pieces of steamed bun, which were far more fragrant than water caltrip mixed with potato and chaff porridge. What if he crawled over and stole one? Just one. This thought suddenly filled Wolf Boy's head, but he dare not move. As soon as he went out, he would be seen. He wouldn't even steal the bun before he got beaten to death. The immortal cultivator master Lu was about to arrive. He couldn't ruin his chance at immortality for a piece of black steamed bun. But the craving was stirred the more he endured, the stronger it grew. Wolf Boy felt drool running from his mouth. His mind kept fantasizing about rushing over to grab one and whether he could escape. The sun reached its peak, but Lu Yin still hadn't arrived. Would he come? Wolf Boy was very anxious. What if he didn't? Should he go back to work for Master Yang herding cattle, or continue living as a savage in the mountains? He didn't know if the cow had run away. If it had, going back to serve would probably get him beaten to death. Master, this chest is full of silver. Every bit of it is silver. The indentured laborer's surprise cry drew everyone over. Master Yang, who had been lounging in his wrought-tan chair, jumped up and rushed over faster than he usually went to his concubine's room. You bastards, don't any of you dare steal. It's all mine. I'll reward him with a bun. Whoever dares steal my silver, I'll beat his whole family to death. Wolf Boy couldn't care less about the silver. His mind was full of nothing but buns. Here was his chance. Everyone was gathered around the ruins of Master Ma's house, all focused on the chest of silver. He could sneak some buns now. Wolf Boy was starving, but the thought of buns gave him strength. He stuffed the jade slip back in its place, dashed out of the bushes, and rushed to the bamboo basket. Buns! Staring at the basket of dark, coarse buns, tears welled up in Wolf Boy's eyes. The despair was that he was wearing nothing but a few tattered strips of cloth. He couldn't even use his clothes to carry them. So he just stuffed 2 into his mouth, grabbed as many as he could with both hands, hugged them to his chest, and ran back into the bushes. Feeling it wasn't safe enough, he crawled a bit farther back. Buns, mixed with chaff and bran. Yes, but still real buns. Wolf Boy had never eaten a whole steamed bun, not even half of one. He chewed desperately, not caring even if he was caught and beaten to death later. But it was so delicious, absolutely amazing. Delicious. For the first time, Wolf Boy felt a sense of happiness. His stomach started working, and his whole body felt energized. He felt like he could eat a whole basketful. He quickly finished one, then another. Awesome. He hadn't eaten anything this good, even during the new year. Eat quickly. While they were digging for silver, he could finish these and then go steal a few more. The third one got stuck in his throat. Wolf Boy, ignoring how his neck bulged from choking, forced it down anyway. The fourth, the fifth. Wolf Boy had carried back 8, in total 2 in his mouth, and the rest in his hands, and he managed to eat 7. At first, saliva helped, but later he was just dry swallowing through sheer determination, relying on the belief that he could go steal more after finishing. At one point, he choked so hard that his eyes rolled back. There was a teapot on the table, but he didn't dare to drink from it. He would have to find a stream, but he was afraid of missing Lu Yin. The 8th one, he simply couldn't eat anymore. He was painfully stuffed. If I steal a few more, they've already looted our whole village, so taking a few of his buns shouldn't be a big deal. The jade slip has to be hidden on me, and there's still one bun that Wolf Boy stashed in the grass. This time, with experience, he felt he could snatch a few more. But as soon as he rushed under the banyan tree, Wolf Boy felt things spiraling out of control. What attracted him most right now wasn't the basket of buns, but the big teapot on the table. Dry swallowing 7 buns left him desperate for water, feeling like he'd need to chug a whole pot to feel better. Someone stole buns. Everyone knew silver was precious, but in the countryside, you had to exchange it for copper coins first, and the risk of stealing Master Yang's silver was way too high. But buns could be eaten right away. Anyone could, and in the sensitivity of the poor, they mattered more than silver. As soon as someone shouted, everyone turned to look. "Stop, you little thief!" That's Wolf Boy under the banyan tree. That cowherd ran off and came back to steal buns. Everyone was furious without waiting for Master Yang's order. A crowd had already charged over. Wolf Boy's legs were trembling. Now he had to run for his life, or he'd be dead. Yet his mind was still thinking about drinking water. Run, Lang Wazi suddenly realized. Not drinking water won't kill you for now, but getting caught will really get you beaten to death. But he had been running all morning. How could he outrun the adults? He was tackled before he got far. Beat him. How dare he steal our buns? Kill him. Even the indentured laborers working for the landlord don't get buns every day. Today, the master was generous, and they could finally eat their fill, yet he dared to steal their buns. Lang Wazi screamed, covering his head and curling up his legs and head as much as possible. This way, they wouldn't hit his crotch, stomach, head, face, or throat, minimizing the injuries. Of course, Langwazi didn't understand the reasoning. It was just experience gained from being beaten by other kids. These kids were from Qingshui Tang and had no connection to Langwazi. Their hatred for having their food stolen made them strike hard. Fortunately, they were also poor, and barefoot kicking too hard would hurt their own toes. Otherwise, with those big feet, Langwazi's bones would have been broken. Stop hitting him. The laborers kept beating until they realized it was Master Yang's voice. Then they stopped. Master Yang came back under the banyan tree carrying a small wooden box. They dragged Wolf Boy over and threw him at Master Yang's feet. Master, this thief was supposed to lead the ox back, but instead he ran away. Ungrateful wolf. He even dared to steal my steamed buns. He deserves to be beaten to death. Master Yang, experienced as he was, saw that Wolf Boy had returned but the laborers hadn't. Obviously the ox had been let loose, and they were still trying to catch it. Get back to work, Master Yang ordered. Everyone could only glare at the steamed buns, swallow their saliva, and leave reluctantly. How many steamed buns did you eat? Master Yang had sharp eyes. He could tell at a glance that some had been stolen already. 8, 7. Wolf Boy rubbed his stomach to settle it. Having just been beaten, his greatest fear was throwing up, thus wasting the food. Want some water? Yes. Master Yang placed the small wooden box on the table, poured half a bowl of tea, and set it on the ground. Tell me, how did it come to be like this under the banyan tree? The Wolf Boy didn't dare to lower his head like a dog. The few mouthfuls of water he drank made him feel comfortable. But it wasn't enough. He felt even thirstier and wanted to drink more water. Master, I don't know either. When I came back from grazing the cattle yesterday evening, the village was already like this. Master Yang picked up the teapot, poured half a bowl of tea, and encouraged him kindly. Think again. Was there anything unusual yesterday? Did your village have any treasures or something? Raising the entire village like this is definitely the work of a cultivator. If there were no treasures, why would a cultivator get involved? If the treasure had already been taken, why would the cultivator be so furious as to annihilate the village? If we can get our hands on it, it will change the fate of the family. It's worth more than all of Master Ma's possessions combined. Master Yang originally planned to take the Wolf Boy back and interrogate him. Having learned that the boy had eaten 7 steamed buns, he knew this was the best time to question him. A special treasure? The Wolf Boy lowered his head to drink again, but Master Yang stepped on the rim of the bowl. I'm just a cowherd. I definitely wouldn't know any big secrets. Master Yang moved his foot away. You stole my steamed bun, and I didn't punish you. I just saved your life. So, I'm your lifesaver, your second parent. You can't lie to your parents. Wolf Boy lowered his head to drink water, his mind hesitating over what he could say. After 2 half bowls of water, it only made him thirstier. Tell me, and I'll give you water to drink and let you eat as many steamed buns as you want. You can even take some with you. Take as many as you like. This temptation was something the Wolf Boy simply couldn't resist. A lord who could fly came yesterday. Mr. Yang was overjoyed. Go on. He filled the bowl on the ground with water. He didn't say much, but he thought I had talent and said he'd come today to take me to cultivate immortality. Mr. Yang's body jolted as he stared at the Wolf Boy, trying to see if he was boasting. Did he say when he would come? He said he'd come at noon, at most within 3 days, then stepped on a sword and whooshed away. The Wolf Boy was afraid of being beaten to death, so he used Lu Yin to intimidate him by borrowing someone else's power. But what if Lu Yin didn't come? The words were on the tip of his tongue, but he changed at most tonight to within 3 days. Drink some water. Master Yang kindly handed the cup to Wolf Boy. Wolf Boy felt flattered. I let my youngest son come with you, saying he was herding cattle with you. Now he has no home to return to. If he stays here, he'll be beaten to death. Please, Master who can fly, take us all away. Wolf Boy was shocked. He wanted to cultivate immortality because there was no other way. He wanted to eat meat. What a life of luxury the landlord's son had. Master, I won't treat you badly. Eat as much flatbread as you like. Drink as much tea as you want. I'll even have my son bring you candy. Master Yang urged him to drink more tea. Was the landlord really this easygoing? Wolf Boy felt something was off, but couldn't figure it out. He still gulped down the bowl of water. Master Yang refilled it for him. Here, sit and rest a while. Keep an eye on the flatbread for me. He was led to Master Yang's rattan chair, still watching over a basket of flatbread. Wolf Boy wondered if he was dizzy from hunger How else would he dare to dream such a dream? Master Yang, ignoring even his silver, ran out to find a hired hand and whispered instructions for him to hurry back to Qing Shui Pond to find the young master. After Wolf Boy finished his fourth bowl of tea, he wasn't as thirsty, but he felt even more uncomfortable. His stomach was growing more and more bloated. It's rare to get a full meal of buns, and now I'm getting bloated. Am I born with a cheap fate? Have some tea and buns. Don't be polite. There are also pickled vegetable shreds here. Master Yang fumbled under the basket and pulled out a small bundle containing pickled vegetable shreds. He pinched a bit and popped it into Wolf Boy's mouth. It was sour and salty, especially appetizing. Wolf Boy wanted both more pickled vegetable shreds and more water. Master Yang's actions made the people digging for treasures in the ruins wildly jealous. What has that filthy cowherd done to deserve this? Those buns were meant for us. We are the true loyal subjects, and yet he's doting on a little beggar. Hey, doting? Could it be? At that moment, a cold glint flashed in the air. Before anyone could see what was happening, a person had appeared under the banyan tree. Lu Yan. The wolf boy got so excited that he jumped up from his rattan chair. The villagers of Qing Shui Tang were all frozen in shock. Why would such a powerful person come here? Was it him who leveled the village under the banyan tree? Would he now flatten everyone here? They wanted to drop their hoes and run, but feared becoming targets, so they stayed frozen in place, not daring to move a muscle. Old Master Yang, realizing that a cultivator had truly arrived, rushed over and prostrated himself in worship. Greetings, immortal master. Lu Yan glanced around, guessed roughly what was going on, but didn't care. No need to kneel, and no need to fear me. I'll be leaving right away. Immortal master, please wait, old Master Yang said. His face creased into a smile like an old chrysanthemum. My son has yearned for immortality since childhood. I beg you to take him as your disciple. I will build a shrine in your honor, with incense burning day and night without cease. Lu Yan frowned, his gaze shifting to the wolf boy. The wolf boy was startled. Old Master Lu was displeased that he had leaked the information. This is what happened. Early this morning, the landlord from a neighboring village came to dig something up, seized my 5 cows, and captured me too. I desperately escaped just to see you. Just now they caught me. He forced me to bring his son and deceive you into believing his son is also a coward. If I didn't, he would beat me to death. Wolf Boy's direct accusation terrified Master Yang, who kept kowtowing. Immortal Master, please see clearly. My admiration for you is evident to heaven and earth. I absolutely dare not deceive you. This wolf boy who caused his parents' death is no auspicious fate. His talent cannot compare to my son's, and he even bears a sign of an early death. Lu Yan came only because of his promise. Why would he pay attention to the flattering words of a rural landlord? He grabbed Wolf Boy without a word and flew away on his sword. Watching them fly into the sky on the sword, Master Yang pounded the ground in jealousy. Taking in a cowherd, but not his son, where is the justice? Flying on a sword is fast with sudden rises and falls. But with Lu Yan holding him, Wolf Boy actually felt very stable. The problem is, it was his first time flying, and he had just eaten 7 steamed buns and drunk 4 bowls of water. Rapid ascent caused physical discomfort, and looking down only made the dizziness worse. Vomit. Wolf Boy instantly turned into a vomiting machine, spewing continuously as if creating a localized rain shower. Lu Yan couldn't help but feel disgusted. You're afraid of heights and get airsick. How will you ever improve in the future? My buns. Ugh. Wolf Boy was heartbroken. For the first time in his life, he had eaten his fill of buns and endured a beating, but in the end, he threw them all up. Seeing him keep vomiting, Lu Yan couldn't hold back any longer. Just how many did you eat? Wolf Boy waited until he finished vomiting before his mouth was free to speak. 7 buns. I stole them from the landlord's basket. It was the first time I'd ever eaten whole buns. They were so delicious. But I could only manage 7, and they choked me. All my buns are gone, spewed out. Wolf Boy remembered there was still 1 bun hidden in the grass. Such a waste. If only he'd known, he would have hidden it with a jade slip. Lu Yan snorted, ate 7 buns, and then gulped down water, right? No wonder the landlord said you have the look of someone who's short-lived. Ah, do buns and water clash when eaten together? Wolf Boy blushed directly. I don't have any flatbread either. I really didn't know. Lu Yan meant to mock him, but after hearing this, he felt a bit awkward. This kid had no food, and no one had taught him basic life common sense. Your stomach is small, stuffing 7 flatbreads and will fill it completely. And drinking water will make it swell dangerous. And in severe cases, you could even burst. Wolf Boy broke out in a cold sweat. So that's why Master Yang gave him water. He was up to no good. Thank goodness he just fainted from a sword. What's your name? Wolf Boy. If you join the Heavenly Een sect, you need a proper formal name. Wolf Boy of the Heavenly Een sect that really lacks presence. My real name is Zhao Wuji. Wolf Boy had thought about this while lying in the grass. The killers who wiped out the village probably wouldn't care about an ant that escaped, nor would they know Wolf Boy's name. But today, the people of Qingshui Pond were digging, and if the killers came back, they'd learn one more was alive. Wolf Boy, alive and taken away by Cultivator. And Zhao Wuji was a temporary name given by Zhao Yinlong, using it would keep him even more hidden. Zhao Wuji Lu Yin probably came up with that name himself. Sure enough, he's a young man who loves listening to tales of sword immortals. From now on, you'll be called Zhao Wuji. You're not yet qualified to join the Tianyin sect. So let me give you a brief introduction. As Lu Yin said before, the wolf boy Zhao Wuji was already behind at the starting line from the moment he was born. Cultivators have longer lifespans than mortals, so they are very strict about taking disciples. Unless someone is exceptionally talented, only the promising seedlings recommended by related clans can join directly. Those of the second tier are kept as reserves and arranged to live at Tianyin Manor. The manor teaches basic techniques, provides resources, and offers a year of full-time specialized training. As long as one can sense and absorb qi into the body, there's a chance to be selected as an outer disciple. After 1 year, they will have to do various chores. If they can break through to the qi refining stage before the age of 20, they still have a chance to be selected as an outer disciple. The first option seems easier, but actually it gives talented individuals more time. The second option allows those with money to invest resources. Those who achieve neither can still stay and do chores as peripheral members of the Tianyin sect. Those who want to leave are free to go at any time. Outer disciples are merely the foundation of the Tianyin sect. Inner disciples are the core. There is no fixed standard for becoming an inner disciple. Instead, outer disciples compete among themselves, and the best are promoted. Lu Yin didn't say much about the situation of inner disciples. In his view, Zhao Wuji's chances of becoming an outer disciple were slim. Bringing him into Tianyin Manor was already settling their karmic connection. Zhao Wuji thought the same. The inner and outer disciples of immortal cultivation sects and the peripheral matters were too distant for him. He understood it in terms of schooling. Tianyin Manor was like entering a private school. Once in, one became a scholar. Outer disciples were like county-level scholars, inner disciples like provincial graduates. How could he dare to hope to become a scholar, a master? Being able to be fed and clothed for a year, and later at least work at Tianyin Manor, was already a leap over the dragon gate for this orphan cowherd. Thank you for your grace, Master Lu. I will remember your kindness for life. I will work hard and do my best not to disgrace you. Lu Yin frowned. Being grateful is fine, and cultivation of immortality inherently requires risking one's life, but don't call me master all the time. Immortal cultivation is defying fate and changing destiny. You need to have the spirit to defy heaven and earth to look down upon. Before he finished, he stopped himself. This Zhao Wuji was no ordinary person. He was a wolf child worse off than a poor commoner. His confidence and self-respect needed to be built up slowly. Encouraging him to defy heaven and earth would get him bullied to death at any time. Lu Yin's teaching had to be left unfinished. In any case, at least you're a good person. I have faith in you. This is your jade slip. Yesterday, Lu Yin gave him the jade slip to put his mind at ease. Zhao Wuji wouldn't dare to covet what belonged to someone else. Lu Yin wanted to take it, but frowned again. Why is there a strange smell? I've been keeping it close to my body. Listen, no matter what your habits were before, after arriving at the manor, you must learn from others. Cleanliness and hygiene are the basics. Looking at Zhao Wuji, who was still wearing the tattered cloth strips torn yesterday, Lu Yin couldn't continue. Forget it. This jade slip is not valuable. Keep it as a souvenir. Lu Yin ultimately did not take it, but he only thought the smell came from Zhao Wuji not bathing and living in a cowshed. He never imagined that Wuji preserved it so remarkably. At Tianyin Manor, Lu Yin landed directly at the residence of Manor Lord Mei Fenggu, who immediately greeted him with a smile. I'll leave this child in your care, Manor Lord May. You're too courteous, Cultivator Liu. This is my duty, I will take good care of him. Liu Yin gave a brief instruction and then flew away on his sword, leaving Mei Fenggu to scrutinize Zhao Wuji closely. Greetings, Master Mei. Zhao Wuji, thinking that his future meals depended on the Manor Lord, quickly bowed and greeted him. Just call me Master. Since you were personally sent by Senior Liu, I will surely treat you well. Mei Fenggu's enthusiastic smile made Zhao Wuji feel a bit uneasy. Something's off. This is the legendary Smiling Tiger, isn't it? Liu Yin left after only a few words, indicating they weren't close friends. Liu Yin couldn't take disciples and was probably unremarkable in the Shadowless sect. Yet Mei Fenggu, as master of the Shadowless Manor, kept calling him Senior Liu with every sentence. That's being sarcastic, isn't it? And then he emphasized he'd treat me well. I'm just a newcomer who hasn't even entered the sect. What am I worth? He's not planning to mess with me, is he? Thank you, Master. This jade slip was given by Senior Liu. Please accept it as a token of respect. Zhao Wuji was a bit flustered and felt he should offer a gift. But like a savage, the jade slip was the only thing he could present. Mei Fenggu was stunned by his gesture. No need to offer it to me. Since Senior Liu gave you this jade slip, keep it safe. He might have secretly given you some extra guidance inside. He unconsciously sniffed and looked at Zhao Wuji again. Shunzi, the master called. A young servant quickly approached. Everything you were told to arrange is ready. Don't worry, Master. Everything has been arranged. Mei Fenggu nodded. Take this. What was your name again? My name is Zhao Wuji. Take Junior Disciple Wuji to get settled. This is personally sent by Inner Sect Master Liu. If anything goes wrong, you'll be held accountable. After giving his instructions, Mei Fenggu returned to his room. Shunzi immediately told Zhao Wuji to follow him. Arranged in advance, emphasized Master Liu, and even mentioned if anything goes wrong. Zhao Wuji grew more uneasy. The master is going to deal with me. I have to keep a low profile and absolutely not give him any excuse. Shunzi led him to a row of houses and entered one of the courtyards. Junior Disciple Zhao, you'll stay in this building from now on. Go bathe first, and I'll fetch your clothes and food. Zhao Wuji asked softly. Senior Disciple Shunzi, how many people live in one building? Could you take me in and introduce them? It's just you, Junior Disciple Zhao. Huh? Shunzi took him inside and introduced each room. There was a living room, a bedroom, a training room, a toilet, and a bath. Not a shared dormitory. Not even a single room per person. It was a whole house with a small courtyard. Zhao Wuji didn't believe that Tianyin Villa would be so generous to just anyone. Mei Fenggu must have some scheme. I'll get the clothes for you, Junior Brother. As for food, do you have any dietary restrictions, Junior Brother Zhao? Shunzi felt a bit disdainful of his bumpkin appearance. But since he was sent here by an inner sect true man and the Manor Lord himself had given orders, he had to be polite. Anything is fine, but I'm very hungry. Can you arrange for me to eat my fill? Zhao Wuji didn't understand anything and dared not speak carelessly for fear of embarrassing himself. At least being able to eat my fill should be possible, right? He decided this time he would eat 2 steamed buns and no more, so he wouldn't throw up again. Of course, I will arrange it. As soon as Shunzi left, Zhao Wuji let out a long sigh. He was pretending to be mature, but in reality, he was uneasy. Remembering Liu Yan's advice on hygiene, he quickly took a good bath and also washed the jade slip clean. When he came out, Shunzi had brought several sets of clothes for Zhao Wuji to change into. Zhao Wuji felt like an opera performer, carefully walking with pigeon-toed steps, afraid of dirtying or wrinkling the clothes. He had never worn a complete new set of clothes. The tattered black cotton petticoat in winter was also what others had worn out and discarded. Now this outfit looked even better than what the landlord wore. Eat first. I'll come back to clean up later. Shunzi finished speaking and went out. Zhao Wuji caught the aroma, his empty stomach already burning. Opening the food box, lo and behold. The first layer held 2 big steamed buns, not the dark heavy cornbread, but white flour steamed buns. Zhao Wuji had never eaten them. He had heard that the Ma family ate white flour steamed buns. Now I'm treated like a master too. The second layer of the food box was the source of the fragrance, a whole roast chicken. Tears welled up in Zhao Wuji's eyes. Was he getting meat for his very first meal? The third layer contained some delicate pastries, ones that Zhao Wuji had never even heard of, let alone seen. Slap! Zhao Wuji slapped himself in the face. He highly suspected that he was still in the cow sheet, and all this might be a dream. It hurts. This is real. Now I'm treated like a master too. Zhao Wuji, as if afraid the white buns would run away, grabbed one with each hand and took a bite from left and right. Even if it was a dream, he had to taste the flavor. Oh my God, white buns were so delicious. Black buns couldn't compare at all. Zhao Wuji's emptied stomach felt an unprecedented sense of comfort. But this time, from experience, he didn't dare eat too fast or too much. Oh my God, this is the taste of roast chicken. Sob, this wolf boy can finally eat meat one day. Thank you, Master Lu. Zhao Wuji ate while crying tears. The white buns were so delicious, the roast chicken so delicious, all kinds of pastries so delicious. He only regretted his lack of education, unable to express so many feelings. Only this one phrase, so delicious. These can be kept, right? Seeing Shunzi come in to clean up, the well-fed Zhao Wuji couldn't help asking. He was greedy. He hadn't eaten enough, but was afraid his stomach would burst, so he held back. Junior disciple Zhao, you just came, so temporarily we can only give you these to make do. Next meal, fresh hot dishes will be sent. Zhao Wuji's eyes widened. And this is just a makeshift arrangement? Even a landlord's family only has this during festivals, right? Though he was extremely reluctant, he didn't want to embarrass Lu Yan, so he held back further words. This is the cultivation method the manor lord sent over. And here's one nourishing essence pill each month to strengthen your foundation. Giving me a cultivation method and pills so soon? Is the manor lord really that generous? Zhao Wuji muttered to himself as he took them. Thank the manor lord for me. Will the nourishing essence pill be distributed for a year? Yes. If you sense qi and enter the body to become a qi refiner, you'll be selected as an outer disciple. Otherwise, you'll have to earn money to buy nourishing essence pills. Lu Yan said it simply. Zhao Wuji, being young and only half understanding, seized the chance to ask for details. Brother Shunzi, is sensing qi into the body very difficult? With a year of foundation strengthening pills, can you still not enter the path? He was sincerely asking, but to Shunzi, it sounded like showing off. He sighed. You have good talent, junior brother Zhao, so it's naturally not hard for you. But for us mortals, it's too difficult. Ahem, I haven't sensed qi yet either. I'm genuinely asking. Since you've been chosen by inner sect Master Lu, you must have extraordinary talent. This is just a formality. I believe you'll soon enter the outer sect, and then smoothly advance to the inner sect. Shunzi's tone couldn't hide a hint of envy and jealousy. Same humans, different fates. Zhao Wuji was about to explain, but immediately shut his mouth. Even if Master Lu never returns, at least for this year, he could still borrow his authority. If he revealed that he had no backing, his good days would be over. Shunzi packed up and left. Zhao Wuji picked up the technique manual. Basic technique, qi refining art. He was grateful to the old village doctor for teaching him to read. So this is the cultivation method of immortality. Zhao Wuji was excited, but immediately recalled Mei Fenggu's words, would Lu Yan have left cultivation guidance in the jade slip? Then what did my adoptive father leave behind? He died too quickly and didn't explain anything. Could it really just be to take on a cheap son? Could it be that the tripod wasn't a trick, but real? No matter how much Zhao Wuji looked or rubbed his palm, he couldn't feel the existence of that tripod. He tried hard to recall the sealed memories from his adoptive father, but again, nothing came to mind. Godfather, Godfather, how high a level do you want me to reach before I can sense it? If you don't give me something good, can I even live that long? With my talent, can I ever cultivate to a high level? After all, he only spent a short time with his cheap godfather and got no benefits, so Zhao Wuji couldn't really trust him. Zhao Yinlong was hunted by powerful enemies, maybe because he stole someone else's divine cauldron. When he realized he was about to die and had no other option, he transferred the divine cauldron onto me, sealed the memories, and so on, intending to use me to send the treasure back home. Realizing all this, Zhao Wuji felt a bit disheartened. He had never had any family, even though this godfather fell from the sky. It still brought him some comfort. If he was really just being used as a treasure container, that would be quite hurtful. Forget it, these things are too far away. Even if there really is a divine cauldron treasure, what right do I have to possess it? How can I keep it safe? Lord Lu himself said, I only have a bit of talent. Zhao Wuji suddenly came to his senses. Lu Yin is an inner disciple of the Tianyin sect, a great master who can fly on a sword. Lu Yin, thought average, was compared to seedlings nurtured by cultivation families from childhood. For him to consider someone having a bit of talent was already extremely unusual. Okay? How could a cowherd like me have such talent? It's because my adoptive father passed his power to me and strengthened my body before he died. Zhao Wuji instantly shook off his discouragement and felt full of confidence about the future. His adoptive father gave him talent, and Master Lu gave him the chance to cultivate if he couldn't grasp it. He couldn't blame the heavens for being unjust. Learn. Practice. 10 times the learning, 100 times the practice. All for the sake of eating 2 white flour buns every day and having meat often. The basic qi refining technique wasn't profound, but it was the foundation of all methods. Being able to sense the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and draw it into the body was the step from 0 to 1. Zhao Wuji took this opportunity very seriously, but he didn't start practicing right away. He was afraid of suffering a qi deviation. In the swordsman stories the old village doctor told, one needed a master to teach them cultivation. Practicing blindly on one's own easily led to qi deviation. He had no master now, nor any senior brothers or sisters to ask. The only thing he could do was thoroughly comprehend the technique. The basic qi refining technique wasn't long and was simplified into easy-to-understand expressions. A scholar might memorize it in half a day. But Zhao Wuji had only learned to recognize characters from the old village teacher, barely literate, and struggled with reading and comprehension. The only thing he could do was make up for his lack of talent with diligence, memorizing the qi refining technique by rote with 10 times the effort of others. He felt that wasn't enough. Half-baked understanding would lead to qi deviation. So he kept reading it over and over, day after day. After a full month, if not 1,000 times, then at least 800 repetitions. He truly knew the qi refining technique inside out. Whether eating, bathing, defecating, or sleeping, his mind was completely filled with it. Every time Shunzi brought food, he saw him reading the qi refining technique. At first, he was in awe, but later he thought he was a bookworm. In the end, he hurriedly reported to the manor owner, suspecting that Zhao Wuji had gone mad from reading. Reading into madness? The qi refining technique wasn't that hard. Crazy reading for a month? Mei Fenggu was just entrusted to have someone take care of him, which was already decent of him. Why would he bother to pay much attention? After hearing Shunzi's report, he found it strange. He had been studying the basic qi refining technique for a month straight, yet his talent was still so poor. Tell me, what kind of relationship would make you devote great effort to cultivating someone with such poor talent? Shunzi was stunned by the question. For me, even brothers and close kin can only be looked after so much. We must respect each other's fates. Nieces, nephews, and distant relatives are even less of a priority unless it's a legitimate son. A légitimat son. Mei Fenggu's eyes lit up. If Zhao Wuji had exceptional talent, Lu Yin would have taken him as a disciple directly. If he were his son, he would have been well trained from childhood. Sending him here to go through the motions, and being rather dull, he must be Lu Yan's illegitimate son. An ordinary seedling is just a favor done in passing, all for the sake of the sect. But if he is Lu Yan's illegitimate son, then it is a huge favor that cannot be easily dismissed. Mei Fenggu immediately came to find Zhao Wuji in person. You are Zhao Wuji? Zhao Wuji was in a growth stage, looking sallow and thin from long-term malnutrition. After a month of good food and drink with no labor, he had directly gained a round of weight, so much so that even the manor lord couldn't recognize him. It was Master Lu who brought me to see the manor lord. Mei Fenggu immediately noticed the detail and emphasized that Lu Yin hadn't used any honorific like immortal master, but had called him Master Lu. Your original name isn't Zhao Wuji, is it? How did you? Zhao Wuji suddenly panicked. The manor lord has checked my background. He knows I'm the wolf child from under the banyan tree. Could he be the one who wiped out the village? Impossible. He's definitely not as strong as Lu Yin. Mei Fenggu just wanted to see the change in his expression. For part shock, 3 parts panic, 2 parts confusion, and 1 part contemplation, it all fit. This boy must be Lu Yan's illegitimate son, using a fake name. Mei Fenggu smiled warmly. Just joking. Wuji, are you getting along well? Has Shunzi been treating you properly? Very well. Zhao Wuji's praise came from the heart. Every day, there were big white steamed buns, meat to eat, and many delicacies he'd never seen before. No work to do, and he could even study. It was simply a heavenly life. It was so good that he felt uncomfortable even in his past dreams. He hadn't imagined so many good things. If there's anything you don't understand about the chi refining art, I can guide you. Zhao Wuji quickly thanked him. Thank you, Manor Lord. It's just that my level is too low to know what to ask. Mei Fenggu nodded with a knowing smile, full of deep meaning. So it turns out he doesn't need my guidance. Lu Yin made other arrangements. It seems that relentlessly studying the chi refining art is a shortcut to the inner sect. This bottle of foundation building pills is for you. Work hard, I have high hopes for you. Mei Fenggu shoved a bottle of pills into his hand and left. Zhao Wuji wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. So the Manor Lord really does have a grudge against Lord Lu. Has he finally decided to make a move? He's the top figure of Tianyin Villa. How could he have time to visit me and give me pointers on the chi refining art? This must be to mislead me and cause me to go in a chi deviation. Could these foundation building pills be poison? Zhao Wuji opened it and looked. Surprisingly, they really were foundation building pills, 6 of them. Just by looking at them and smelling them, he could tell they were of superior quality. Shunzi said everyone was issued the ordinary version of foundation building pills. Only those with money and connections could obtain the premium version, which is several times more effective. Why would the Manor Lord give me premium foundation building pills? There's no reason for it. If I get poisoned to death, it'd mean openly falling out with Lord Lu. He gave me premium foundation establishment pills, but didn't he tell me? If I'm careless and greedy and eat them all, that's just me asking for death. Zhao Wuji secretly rejoiced, thinking, indeed, people's hearts are treacherous, with huge conspiracies everywhere. He had taken an ordinary foundation establishment pill before, and it indeed strengthened his body. Should he still eat these premium ones? Eat them? Why not? It'd be a waste not to. As long as he doesn't get greedy and rush recklessly, it's a huge gain. Zhao Wuji immediately downed one and then put the bottle away. He had thoroughly understood and mastered the basic chi refining technique. It was time to start practicing. There is infinite spiritual energy in the world that nurtures all things. It can be subdivided according to yin-yang, 5 elements, and so on. Based on sensitivity to the 5 elemental spiritual energies, there are 5 spiritual roots. The higher the talent for a single spiritual root, the faster the cultivation speed. Having 5 spiritual roots without any outstanding one is called mixed spiritual root, which is considered poor talent. But if all 5 spiritual roots are strong, it is all spiritual roots, which is excellent talent. And pure yin body and pure yang body are even rarer. Zhao Wuji didn't know which attribute his talent leaned toward. After taking the foundation establishment pill, he sat in meditation to practice. He cultivated according to the chi refining art to sense the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, but after half an hour, he got nothing, while his body grew hotter. The premium Peiyuan pill was indeed domineering. Zhao Wuji quickly stripped off his clothes to cool down and was about to continue practicing when Shunzi opened the door and came in. He hurriedly covered his crotch. What are you doing? It's not mealtime yet. Junior brother Zhao, I'm here to deliver the Peiyuan pill. Zhao Wuji glared at him. Who are they? You come in casually, but you brought 3 people and a woman at that, without even a word beforehand. Shunzi always came straight in when delivering food, but it wasn't that he was impolite. Usually, most of the time one is training, and knocking or shouting would disturb cultivation, so it was reasonable to come in on his own, put down the things, and leave. But Shunzi hadn't expected him to be stripped, so he was dumbfounded. That woman let out a chuckle. Brother, you don't look that big. Don't be shy. Let me have a look. These 3 are junior brothers Meng Fan and Lu Guang, and junior sister Lin Shui, who all live in the same row. Lin Shui had a mischievous look on her face, her eyes darting slyly at Zhao Wuji. Meng Fan and Lu Guang both wore disdainful expressions. All right, I only gave you some face because you're a servant by the Manor Lord, and you actually call yourself senior disciple? After sneering, Meng Fan directly snatched the small medicine bottle from Shunzi's hand. What level are you to deserve living in a row house with us? I'm taking this Peiyuan pill. Zhao Wuji had just arrived and thought everyone lived so well, but later learned about the various circumstances of the manor from Shunzi. Most people live in dormitories, a few to over a dozen per room. For a standalone house, besides paying your own expenses, you need connections and qualifications for the manor lord to approve. This was also one of the points that made Zhao Wuji suspect the manor lord wanted to harm him. "You're robbing my pill?" Lin Shui giggled coquettishly. "Little brother is so smart. You recognized its robbery right away." Meng Fan curled his lip in a cold smile. "I am robbing you. Got a problem? Hit me then." Shunzi hurriedly signaled Zhao Wuji with his eyes. Lu Guang also spoke up. "You can complain to the manor lord. Meng Fan will be scolded, but he'll beat you to death. You dare complain to your family elders? Heh, just wait to drag your family into trouble." Zhao Wuji saw Shunzi nodding slightly with a bitter face, and his mind raced. Shunzi didn't reveal his connection to Lu Yin, which showed that these three had strong backgrounds and dared not say more. If he could scare them off by invoking Lu Yan's name, he could bluff his way out. But if they weren't afraid, then once his trump card was exposed, things would be worse later. "Take it. I'm not being robbed, I'm giving it willingly." Zhao Wuji chose to back down. Lu Yin probably wouldn't bother with him anymore. He wouldn't stick his neck out for a minor matter. A man must rely on himself. Zhao Wuji was nothing now. Since he couldn't resist, he might as well accept it proactively. Meng Fan snorted. "You think you're qualified to give it willingly? I'm taking it from you by force." Zhao Wuji silently memorized their identities and appearances. One day, he would repay today's humiliation tenfold. TSK, little brother, you're quite sensible. Meng Fan got one, but I don't have one yet. I want to. Lin Shui deliberately drawled. Lu Guang smirked. "Of course you don't. Does Meng Fan only have one? Take your hand away." Lin Shui smiled and pointed. Shunzi bowed. "Brother Meng, this was arranged by the estate master." The estate master even came to see junior brother Zhao today. Meng Fan slapped him on the head. "You dog of a menial, trying to use the estate master to pressure me? No, I won't say a thing." Zhao Wuji merely watched coldly from the sidelines without strength. One shouldn't speak big talk. He had understood this truth since childhood. Any kid in the village could pick a fight with him, and he just had to endure it. Others would run crying to their parents after a beating, but he had no parents. The sensible villagers would scold their own children, the rougher ones would curse and threaten him, saying they'd drive him, the wolf boy, back into the mountains to live with wolves. Now it was the same. Lu Yin, a stranger, had given him a chance at immortality out of pure goodwill. Could he go crying to someone to complain? Why would anyone stick up for him? Did that wolf boy's face carry that much weight? Meng Fan still wouldn't let Zhao Wuji off. "Say thank you. I'll take it, and you better not be unhappy about it. I'll steal from you, and you still have to thank me." Lin Shui let out another tinkling laugh. Meng Fan hated the look of silent resentment the most. "If you don't obey, he'll hit you, oh." "Thank you." Zhao Wuji was very calm. Making harsh threats will only bring immediate loss. If you want revenge, wait until you have the strength. Raging helplessly is meaningless. "Coward." Meng Fan wanted to step forward and slap Zhao Wuji, but since he wasn't wearing clothes, he found it disgusting. "Deliver next month's foundation pill yourself, or you're dead." Lin Shui whistled. "Little brother, hurry up and grow up." Shunzi bowed to see them out, carefully closing the door. "Junior brother Zhao, I'm sorry. They asked about you a long time ago, and I kept putting them off. Today, during the foundation pill distribution, they deliberately blocked the way. Should we tell the manor lord?" Zhao Wuji shook his head. "Tell the manor lord?" He was so cooperative just now because he suspected Mei Fenggu had arranged this to stir up trouble. "What will you do without the foundation pill?" Zhao Wuji saw his guilt and comforted him a little. "It's fine. In cultivation, the first is fate, the second is insight, the third is talent. Pills are already the last resort." Shunzi's eyes widened. The belief that talent is primary and pills are supplementary was deeply ingrained in him, yet it was considered low tier. Shunzi, not understanding but feeling impressed, bowed to Zhao Wuji. "Junior brother Zhao, your insight and vision are truly admirable. Since I can't have the pay-you-on pill, just help me get more meat to eat." "No problem." Shunzi lowered his voice. "I'll cut their meat rations for you. They often waste it and don't cherish food like you do." Zhao Wuji gave a wry smile. "The rich waste meat and grain. For them, they've been sick of it since childhood. Spit in their food for me. Good, huh? What background do they have?" Shunzi's face suddenly twisted in distress. Don't even mention it, every one of their families has someone as an inner disciple. One of the Ming family's ancestors is even an elder of the Heavenly Yin sect. But they're already so old and haven't even entered qi refining. Zhao Wuji remember being scolded by Lu Yin at age 10 for being too old. These guys were nearly 20. Shunzi lowered his voice. It just means they're not the key seedlings of their families, not direct heirs. Untalented, but they still have backing. Zhao Wuji understood this was just borrowing the Manor Lord's authority to intimidate others. This was the Manor Lord's territory, as long as the Manor Lord hadn't arranged it. He felt much more at ease. They were nearing the 1-year deadline, and didn't have enough body-nourishing pills, so they came to steal mine. Zhao Wuji could hold back his anger because the Manor Lord had given him 6 premium body-nourishing pills. Body-nourishing pills only cost 100 taels each, and even premium ones were just 500 taels. Only 100 taels. Just 500 taels. Zhao Wuji really wanted to curse. Do you hear what you're saying? This was an exorbitant price. He couldn't even imagine how big a chest 500 taels of silver would need. What they could buy with silver meant nothing to them. Now, they were simply putting you down, thinking you didn't deserve to be on the same level. Zhao Wuji deflated. The truth stung too much. The whole putting down and not deserving thing couldn't wound his pride. But how could they be so wealthy? Wait, so the Manor Lord's gift was worth 3,000 taels of silver? You have to spend money to catch a thief. They really went all out to harm me. But not all the collateral branches of the big families are so wealthy. Mei Fenggu must be even richer, probably like just having a few strands of hair plucked. Zhao Wuji felt hot all over and sent Shunzi away, continuing to practice shirtless. Originally, he thought he had a full year and wasn't in a rush, but now that someone had come to bully him at home, he had to sense and absorb spiritual energy as soon as possible. 10 days later, the effects of the high-grade essence-building pill were mostly absorbed, and Zhao Wuji's malnourished, frail body caught up to a normal level. Zhao Wuji ate meat while taking the high-grade essence-building pill. A month later, he had noticeably grown stronger, and his body seemed to have grown an inch taller. But he still couldn't sense spiritual energy. Today was the day to distribute the essence-building pill again. He really had to deliver it himself? Shunzi felt a bit reluctant. This just gotten pill had to be handed over. Zhao Wuji was very calm. Deliver it. He needed time. Immortality was too distant. Becoming a god, too ethereal. Staying alive was the most critical. This opportunity for cultivation was a favor from Lu Yin, and he couldn't let it be ruined by these people. Shunzi sighed inwardly. When Zhao Wuji first arrived, he was a stinky, scrawny monkey. In just 2 months, his physique and spirit had completely transformed. But after all, he was still just a half-grown kid, faced with Meng Fan and his crew's oppression. If he didn't hand over the pills to secure his safety, could he really count on the Manor Lord to step in? Shunzi led Zhao Wuji to the next room. He didn't dare knock on Meng Fan's door. Casually, only after greeting, did he push it open and enter. "You damn menial! Are you asking to die?" Meng Fan stormed out of the bedroom in a fury. Lin Shui poked her head out to look. Her clothes were slightly disheveled, revealing a bare shoulder. When she saw Zhao Wuji, she let it stay exposed. "Oh, little brother seems to have grown a bit." Lin Shui swayed as she walked out, even throwing a flirtatious glance. Shunzi kept his eyes downcast, not daring to look at Zhao Wuji, and ignored him. "Weren't you going to rob me of my foundation-building pills? I brought them over." Meng Fan's anger had no outlet. He was already irritated, and Zhao Wuji's compliance rubbed him the wrong way. "What robbery? I didn't rob you. You're the one who filially offered them to me." Shunzi took Zhao Wuji's small medicine bottle and handed it over with a fawning smile. "How dare you try to flatter? You're nothing but a lowly servant." Meng Fan scolded coldly. Lin Shui giggled coquettishly. "Little brother is really obedient, but you lack sincerity. How about you kneel and crawl over? That would make Meng Fan very happy and amuse me too." Meng Fan immediately pointed to the ground. "That's right, crawl over yourself." Shunzi's expression changed. Zhao Wuji was silent for a moment. "Bring it back." Shunzi's mood was very complicated. This was too bullying, simply an insult. Not to mention Zhao Wuji, who has background and potential. Even someone like him, who could only be a servant, would find it hard to accept. Slap. Meng Fan slapped him across the face. "Are you deaf? You want to crawl?" Do you even have a foundation establishment pill, you bastard? With heavy steps, Shunzi walked back to Zhao Wuji's side, opened his mouth, but couldn't speak. Zhao Wuji took the small bottle, poured out the foundation establishment pill, and brought it to his lips. Meng Fan was furious. What are you doing? Are you rebelling? If you dare eat my foundation establishment pill, I'll kill you. This one's for you. Don't bother me anymore. Either I eat it now and make you crawl over, aren't you afraid I have a knife hidden to castrate you? Zhao Wuji's tone was very calm, not furious, but the last sentence startled Meng Fan. This kid is so cooperative, could he be unprepared? Could he have good intentions? If I really crawl to his feet and he stabs me with a knife. The image of castration instantly extinguished Meng Fan's pent-up anger. TSK, little brother, so brave. I'm just joking with you. It was a test. We're all people of status, how could I really make you crawl? Lin Shui stirred up trouble, then smoothly stepped down, but immediately tugged at her hem to reveal a stretch of pale leg. But don't you really want to crawl over? Big sister can let you lick her feet, you know? Zhao Wuji tossed the foundation establishment pill to Meng Fan. 10 months left. If I can't become an outer disciple, I'll move out, and you can bully me as you like. Zhao Wuji finished speaking and calmly walked away. Suanzi quickly followed. Zhao Wuji actually wasn't sure if he could stall, but he had to act confident. Come as you please, leave as you please. Meng Fan was so angry he almost crushed the foundation establishment pill. Who would wait 10 months for you? I can enter the Qi refining stage next month. Just wait and see how I deal with you. Lin Shui put away her coquettish demeanor. I asked around from Mei Fenggu. He was also recommended by someone from the inner sect. So what? My granduncle is an inner sect elder. Lin Shui slapped him across the face with a loud crack. Meng Fan was stunned by the slap, but instead of getting angry, he looked delighted. Harder. Can't you use your brain? You're bringing up an elder for some brat? That way, no one in the Meng family will think highly of you. Wasn't it you who told me to go after him? Meng Fan felt a bit wronged. Lin Shui snorted. Who do you think I'm doing this for? Feeling qi into the body only meets the minimum requirement. To become an outer sect disciple, there's still a selection. If we take one down, we'll be one step safer. Yes, Shuer, you're the smartest. Here, take your medicine. Junior brother Zhao can endure what others cannot, and he is neither arrogant nor servile, brave and resourceful. I truly admire him. Zhao Wuji said with self-mockery. If I had hair, who would want to be bald? If I were strong enough, when he slaps you, I could slap him back. But right now, I can only endure. Shunzi was slightly surprised that Zhao Wuji felt indignant for him. Afraid that Meng Fan would come harm him, Zhao Wuji returned to his room and bolted the door. He then retreated to the bedroom and bolted that door too. Safety first, he must guard against petty people. Cultivation was also top priority. Without strength, there was no safety. Zhao Wuji had experience. He took a high-grade foundation building pill and then removed his clothes to dissipate heat. Perceiving qi, if 10 months was just stalling for time, it was still a deadline. To be truly safe, he had to be faster than Meng Fan. Zhao Wuji sat in meditation and practiced the qi refining art, but for some reason today, he couldn't calm down. His mind kept flashing an image of Lin Shui's bare white shoulder and leg. This woman was really white. The women under the banyan tree all had to work in the fields they couldn't compare. She was even whiter than Master Ma's concubine. The village women were either frowning or speaking loudly. Not a single one had a tone like Lin Shui. This woman had something indescribable about her, even though he clearly disliked her. She was oddly alluring. They had just come out of a bedroom together. So did they go back now? Zhao Wuji inexplicably had a strange thought. In the past, the village bachelors would eagerly go eavesdrop on others at night. He had just discovered it and curiously followed along. The bachelors were afraid that Wolf Boy would blab, so they simply took him along, warning him not to make a sound and not to tell anyone. Things like the creaking bedboards, gasping for breath, muffled moans, and cat-like cries. Back then, Wolf Boy was young and didn't understand anything. He didn't know what the men and their wives were fighting about, nor why the bachelors grinned stupidly. Later, after being teased by them, he roughly figured it out. Thatched houses and adobe walls made it clear to hear, but the room of Master Ma's concubine was difficult. However, the bachelors learned from somewhere that placing a cup or bamboo tube against the wall could amplify the sound. Whether they are up to something doesn't concern me, but what if they are plotting against me? The old physician spoke of the art of war. Know yourself and know your enemy. Zhao Wuji found that not only was his body hot, but his heartbeat had inexplicably accelerated. Maybe the medicine was taking effect. He convinced himself and quickly found a cup, placing it against the bedroom wall. Perhaps because of the quiet, perhaps after taking the premium foundation establishment pill, his hearing and vision became so acute that he could actually hear the sounds from the next room through the cup. Able to hear voices, he could confirm it was Meng Fan and Lin Shui. But what exactly they were saying was hard to make out. Zhao Wuji strained his ears for a while, barely managing to catch a few key words. Something about killing a wild boar, something about eating it. Zhao Wuji felt a bit ashamed. He had been overly suspicious. Meng Fan was probably just an arrogant rich kid from a big family, not malicious enough to hurt anyone. As for the wild boar, he wanted to kill and eat it too. Later, he also heard some strange howling sounds, but they weren't from Lin Shui. They seemed to come from Meng Fan. Zhao Wuji listened for a while and found it dull. Time to practice. After consuming 3 premium foundation establishment pills, Zhao Wuji not only had much sharper hearing and vision, but also noticed significant changes in his body, from internal organs to bones and skin. However, the medicinal effect was gradually weakening. In terms of price, this was equivalent to taking 15 ordinary foundation establishment pills. It was likely that taking more ordinary ones would have even less effect. So he could calmly hand over the foundation-building pill he had been given to Meng Fan, buying himself some time. Another month passed. Zhao Wuji had already consumed all 6 high-grade foundation-building pills. No wonder the Manor Lord only gave him 6. The effects were nearly maxed out. With his foundation fully consolidated, his body strong and inner energy abundant, he could finally sense the spiritual energy of heaven and earth entering his body. The step from 0 to 1 was the hardest. Zhao Wuji had taken 3 months and 6 high-grade foundation-building pills, hardly a prodigy. But just entering the qi refining stage was enough to make him overjoyed. From his speed in sensing and absorbing spiritual energy, he discovered his aptitudes were of the fire and earth dual spiritual roots. I'm no longer a cowherd or a wolf boy. I'm no longer immortal. From today on, I'm a master of qi refining. Over the past 2 months, he had read the basic qi refining technique nearly 1,000 times. The principles were long understood, but without spiritual energy, many insights couldn't be grasped. Now, with one principle grasped, all others followed. What he previously couldn't do now flowed smoothly and effortlessly. This way, he could apply to become an official outer disciple. Zhao Wuji was thrilled and wanted to go apply right away. Upon hearing this news, Lord Lu should feel relieved, at least not seeing a complete mess. But upon further reflection, it seemed inappropriate. The Tianyi Manor's reserve personnel were all peripheral laborers. Even Meng Fan hadn't reached the qi refining stage, and bullying him was on a common level. Wouldn't there be such people among the outer disciples? Inner disciples were set to compete among outer disciples. Putting it nicely, they were opponents. Bluntly, they were deadly enemies, competing in talent, effort, resources, and also in deceit and unscrupulous means. The environment would only get harsher. Worse still, life could be in danger at any moment. Zhao Wuji was very afraid of death. He couldn't discuss this with anyone in the manor. He was only somewhat familiar with Shunzi. But he suspected the Manor Lord might want to harm him. Could he trust the people arranged by the Manor Lord? Even if Shunzi's friendliness wasn't ordered by the Manor Lord, it was only because he had seen the ragged, gaunt side of him. Now that Zhao Wuji had reached qi refining in just 3 months, could Shunzi still remain psychologically balanced? Given Zhao Wuji's age, he couldn't consider things more thoroughly. He just suspected everyone. After much deliberation, he suppressed his excitement and decided to continue staying at the mountain villa to finish the remaining 9 months. With meals and meat provided at the villa, it was already the enjoyment of a landlord. He would train a bit stronger here first to avoid being killed by others. This month's pay-yuan pill. Shunzi lowered his voice again. There's no need to give it to him anymore, right? Let's see. Zhao Wuji remained non-committal. His upbringing had taught him to endure silently and not to provoke trouble. If Meng Fan only taunted and mocked him without making a move, Zhao Wuji could just take it as hot air. Oh, by the way, don't forget to go hunting tomorrow. Hunting? Zhao Wuji was puzzled. Didn't I tell you? Shunzi quickly explained. There's a mountain nearby called Wild Boar Ridge. The ecological environment there suits the reproduction of wild boars, and the breed might be a bit special. The wild boars there contain spiritual energy. If left unchecked, in a few years, their numbers will grow too large for the ecosystem to maintain balance. They will expand outward and naturally wreak havoc on the common folk for miles around. Over decades, or even centuries, a huge number of them might undergo a qualitative change and possibly evolve into a demon beast. So the villa conducts a hunt every 6 months to give everyone practical training opportunities. The spirit-infused wild boar meat also brings a considerable income. Zhao Wuji felt relieved. But wild boars should be safe. Safe. He inexplicably thought of something but couldn't recall exactly what. Don't worry. If there were demon beasts, it wouldn't be for us to play with. It would be a training ground for outer disciples or even inner disciples. Seeing Zhao Wuji silent, Shunzi continued to comfort him. Harvesting beasts every 6 months, the villa is experienced. Injuries are unavoidable, but deaths are rare. Zhao Wuji slapped his thigh. I remember now. I remember. Shunzi was taken aback. I thought I mentioned it. Well, prepare yourself then. After seeing Shunzi off, Zhao Wuji's face instantly darkened. The wild boar is the mountain pig that Meng Fan and Lin Shui mentioned. No, it wasn't about killing and eating the mountain pig. It was during the hunt for the mountain pig that Zhao Wuji was killed. Made people feel they were eaten by a wild boar. Had eaten them. At the time, I heard it and was bewildered. For over a month, Zhao Wuji didn't cause any more trouble. He thought he was being paranoid, but it turned out there was an ambush waiting here. The Tiani Manor was experienced in hunting wild boars, but that was against boars. Deliberate human sabotage couldn't be guarded against. After his anger passed, Zhao Wuji calmed down. What to do? There were 3 of them, and they might have bribed even more people. Evasion was impossible. Zhao Wuji had only just entered Qi refining, didn't know spells, had no practical combat experience. There was no chance of winning in a direct confrontation. Complain to the manor lord? Evidence? Overheard from eavesdropping? Who would believe that? Preparing himself, Zhao Wuji muttered a sentence, took the Peiyuan pill, and went out. The treatment here was good. He didn't need to spend money, but he had no money either. The newly issued Peiyuan pill was the only thing he could exchange for cash. Tiani Manor had a trading post, formal and honest in dealing, but it bought low and sold high, which wasn't very cost-effective. The servants formed a flea market through private trades. There were no fixed stalls anyone could go to buy and sell. Tomorrow there is a hunting task. Zhao Wuji had thought many people would be selling weapons, but to his surprise, after a full round, there was not a single one. Junior brother, you look unfamiliar. It seems you are about to draw qi into your body. I have a secret manual here. Hey, don't go. Zhao Wuji was interested in the secret manual, but with only 1 night left, he couldn't practice anything. He had to buy weapons. Who has powerful weapons? I'll trade foundation building pills for weapons. Zhao Wuji didn't have the patience to wait slowly, so he simply set his own price. Foundation building pills were something everyone was interested in. Immediately, several people gathered around. What counts as a powerful weapon? One that can kill wild boars. Tomorrow's hunt, I'm young and weak. I need a weapon. Zhao Wuji showed a childlike smile. I have a family heirloom sword. I can part with it, though it pains me. I have a treasure blade that has killed many wild boars. They all ran back to fetch their weapons. Zhao Wuji was about to call out to more people when someone pulled him aside. Swords and blades are unreliable. You're young. You can't master them overnight. I have what you need, hidden weapons. Zhao Wuji was speechless. I can't master the saber or sword in 1 night, but I could learn to use concealed weapons to trick a kid. The man lowered his voice. I'm talking about a sleeve crossbow. It can't kill many wild boars, but in a dangerous moment, you can shoot to save your life. Zhao Wuji's eyes lit up. This was exactly the weapon he needed. The man didn't want to attract attention and led Zhao Wuji to a secluded spot. Zhao Wuji immediately became cautious. You're not going to kill me for my treasure, are you? Are you crazy? What treasure is a foundation establishment pill? Do you think I'd kill you for 100 taels of silver? I'm not insane. Zhao Wuji thought about it and agreed. Shunzi also felt that 100 taels for a foundation establishment pill wasn't expensive. He had never even owned a copper coin. Since childhood, silver represented wealth, and 100 taels was a huge sum. The man rolled up his sleeve and revealed the sleeve crossbow. It's simple to operate. You could do it with one hand. It fires 3 bolts at once, enough to hit a wild boar. When it charges, you shoot even if it doesn't die. It'll be badly wounded. He strapped it to Zhao Wuji, taught him how to use it, and demonstrated. It was indeed convenient and powerful. The bolts could easily penetrate deep into the mud. Once pulled out, it could be reused. The man picked it up and showed Zhao Wuji how to install it. This is my personal defense item. I wouldn't sell it if I didn't think you were young and might get hurt. Zhao Wuji gave him the foundation pill, then found a cloth sack, filled it with sand, and returned. He had no practical combat experience, just thinking about it made him tense. He went back to the same clumsy method he used for studying the qi refining art, training repeatedly until he could react instinctively with a certain degree of accuracy. It was only before setting off the next day that Zhao Wuji understood why no one sold weapons. Everyone gets issued one. The manor had designed a weapon specifically for this type of wild boar, a high-strength net launcher that shoots out a net to trap the prey, automatically entangling it and restricting its running speed. In addition, they use a sharp steel fork to pierce the eyes. With these 2 steps, it becomes easy to kill. If you encounter a large group of boars with few people, just climb a tree for temporary safety, then send a signal. That guy yesterday said he was selling his family's legendary sword. He was trying to trick me out of my money. Sigh. The cultivation I imagined was drinking wind and dew, transcending the mortal world, an ethereal journey of flying on a sword. But in the end, I have to climb trees and fight wild boars. Complaints aside, Zhao Wuji did ease his nerve a bit. The equipment for hunting boars could also be used against Meng Fan. Climbing trees broadened his thinking. How could this young master of a big family be better at climbing trees than him? Even if Meng Fan could climb, could Lin Shui climb too? Back in the village, the kids often raced to climb the big banyan tree and even made up a rhyme. Boys climb trees for first place. Girls climb trees and get scratched. Everyone had experience hunting boars. Some had even done it dozens of times. Just one boar was enough to get the job done, but those who hunted more got rewards, which was also a chance to earn money. Only Zhao Wuji was a complete newbie. Zhao Wuji was young and had no friends. Others formed teams with acquaintances and naturally didn't tea-call him. The only person he was familiar with was Shunzi, but Shunzi was a servant by the manor lord's side, in charge of coordination, not boar hunting. Meng Fan and the others might have deliberately kept their distance in advance, not even approaching Zhao Wuji, let alone provoking him or showing off. Let us go. As soon as they entered Boar Ridge, many people charged forward with wild shouts. Zhao Wuji ran with the crowd, whether he knew them or not. As long as there were people around, Meng Fan and the others wouldn't dare to make a move. Wild Boar Ridge was vast. If they all hunted together, there wouldn't be enough boar to go around. They might even end up with nothing. So the group quickly scattered more and more. Eventually, it broke into small teams of 2 or 3. Zhao Wuji had no choice but to pick one at random and follow. Nobody wanted to drag along an unfamiliar weakling. If he got killed or gored by a wild boar, they'd be implicated. Inexperienced as he was, Zhao Wuji was soon ditched. With no one to follow, he suddenly felt lost. It's fine. As long as I go back the same way and head downhill, I'll make it down the mountain eventually. Zhao Wuji comforted himself while searching for a big tree that was safe to hide in. He decided not to hunt for wild boars. Even if he failed the task, the worst he'd get was some penalty. It wouldn't affect his chance to become an outer disciple. Safety came first. Hee, little brother, are you looking for me? Hearing Lin Shui's voice, Zhao Wuji's face went pale. He hadn't seen them after entering the mountain. They'd been following behind all along. Watching Meng Fan and Lin Shui appear, Zhao Wuji stared at them while using his peripheral vision to survey the surrounding terrain. What do you want? I don't have any more essence cultivation pills. Meng Fan sneered. You actually managed to reach the entry level? You must have consumed plenty of high-grade essence cultivation pills. I misjudged you back then. Zhao Wuji didn't dare relax for a moment, constantly watching the hands that held the mechanisms. The other side had 2 steel forks and 2 nets that could trap him at any time. How about I kowtow to you? Can you let me go? Zhao Wuji threw down his steel fork and bent over ingratiatingly, as if he really meant to kowtow. Who cares about your kowtow? Even if you offered high-grade essence cultivation pills now, it's useless. Before Meng Fan could finish speaking, he let out a scream. Zhao Wuji was clearly at a disadvantage, but he didn't dare delay. Saying he would kowtow and throwing the steel fork were just meant to distract them. The moment he bent over, he decisively struck first. A sleeve arrow shot toward Meng Fan's heart. A wild boar net shot toward Lin Shui. Neither of them expected that a child of about 10 years old could be so decisive and ruthless. Meng Fan pressed down on his wound, but with an arrow in the heart, he couldn't hold on much longer. Lin Shui pulled with all her might, but this was specially made for wild boars. The more she pulled, the tighter it got. However, the steel fork had propped open some space, allowing her to still move. Zhao Wuji had no steel fork in hand. Trapping him in the net would buy some time. Little brother, don't be like this. I'm so scared. You're so amazing. How about I be your wife? Lin Shui's expression was pitiful, her tone seductive, as she extended the mechanism in her hand outside the net. The sudden sharp pain made her lower her head in disbelief. Her built-in defense, a large lump, had blocked it somewhat, preventing the sleeve dart from going too deep, but it still pierced her heart. Firing 3 darts at once naturally made it steadier, but there was more than one enemy. Pulling them out would be too late. Yesterday, besides practicing his aim, Zhao Wuji had been practicing loading arrows. He had only loaded 1 dart just now, but after firing, he quickly loaded the second. He didn't believe a single word Lin Shui said. Such a dangerous woman could only be trusted dead. After hitting Lin Shui, he quickly loaded a 3rd dart as backup. You can't kill us. You can't bear the consequences. Lin Shui was desperate and terrified, but she still remembered to press the mechanism for the net. Zhao Wuji had been watching closely, so naturally he wasn't caught in her net and instead slipped ahead to Meng Fan's side. Meng Fan's mouth was bleeding and he was tottering, but he still had a last breath of life. Zhao Wuji snatched his steel fork and thrust it into his throat. Do you know who I am? Do you know who Meng Fan is? Lin Shui shouted in anger, blood spurting from her mouth. Unable to hold up the steel fork, she fell down with the net. I don't care who you are. Zhao Wuji forked Meng Fan to death, then reversed his hand and thrust into her throat. Watching the steel fork descend, Lin Shui was filled with despair and fear. Heaven is unfair. She was so beautiful, so intelligent, with such a bright future. She should have been a rising star of the immortal sect. How could she die at the hands of a nameless kid? Heaven is unfair. The steel fork fell, piercing through her throat. Lin Shui died with her eyes wide open, unwilling to accept her fate. After confirming both were dead, Zhao Wuji collapsed onto the ground, gasping heavily. Actually, he hadn't expended too much physical strength, but the tension of life and death combat and killing for the first time had drained all his energy. What now? For now, it's safe, but they all have clan members in the inner sect, and Meng Fan's ancestor is even an elder. If this gets out, even Master Lu Yin can't protect us. You beast! Zhao Wuji's shock had barely settled when a sudden voice nearly scared the life out of him. We've been discovered. Zhao Wuji dreaded that Meng Fan's ancestors might find out. No matter who the newcomer was, to survive, he had to silence them. He didn't bother getting up. He turned his head to look, already raising his hand to aim. Lu Guang. Zhao Wuji had only seen him once, 2 months ago, when he came with Meng Fan and Lin Shui. His appearance now was no coincidence. They were in league. Zhao Wuji quickly triggered the sleeve arrow mechanism. Lu Guang stood behind a large tree. He swiftly twisted his body, using the trunk for cover, and the sleeve arrow flew wide. Zhao Wuji's face turned ashen. The sleeve arrows were his trump card, and now all 3 were spent. He immediately grabbed his steel fork and leaped up. Lu Guang pulled a trigger, and a net instantly swept toward him. Zhao Wuji tried to dodge the steel fork but failed to parry it. Like Lin Shui, he was caught by the net along with the fork. Don't move. Lu Guang stepped forward, rolled up his sleeve, and aimed his sleeve arrow at him. How do you have a sleeve arrow too? Idiot. You wanted to buy a weapon, and someone just happened to sell you a sleeve arrow. Don't you think that's too coincidental? Zhao Wuji broke out in a cold sweat. It was his first time trading, and he was a complete stranger. How could he have imagined it was a setup? Why? Aren't they your friends? I don't believe you gave me the sleeve arrow out of a sense of justice. Friends? Justice? Lu Guang sneered. He stepped forward and stamped on Meng Fan's head. There are only 2 spots left in the outer sect selection. Who do you think I should go to? 2 spots? They want to kill me, but they also want to kill you. So you use me to wear each other down. Zhao Wuji's scalp tingled. Was the adult world really so full of deceit and ruthless scheming? This was still outside the immortal sect, and they would already betray their friends. Would the immortal sect be even more heartless? If you and Meng Fan die together, or you kill Meng Fan, and I come out to avenge him, and then Lin Shui, and I go to the outer sect, wouldn't that be perfect? You beast, you even killed a beautiful woman. Seeing Lin Shui pierced through the throat and shot in the heart, Lu Guang stomped hard on Meng Fan's head in rage. Zhao Wuji finally realized that this bastard scheme wasn't just about the slots, but also his friend's girlfriend. Aren't there 2 slots? The 2 of us fit perfectly. You saw me kill someone, so I have no choice but to listen to you and be your lackey. Lu Guang sneered. You think you're worthy of being my lackey? You even killed a beautiful woman. Can I really trust you? He aimed his sleeve arrow directly at Zhao Wuji. I still have something valuable. An intersect jade slip with treasure techniques that can help senior brother Lu dominate the outer sect. Only I know where it's hidden. Zhao Wuji tried to stall for time. He needed Lu Guang to let him go, or even if someone showed up, things would still end badly for him. Do you know why you brought this deadly trouble upon yourself? Why? Zhao Wuji was genuinely puzzled, but he hadn't had time to think about it. He had just absorbed qi into his body and was planning to drift through another 9 months. I noticed back then that you took the high-quality foundation pills. Even if they didn't realize it at the time, they'd figure it out when they saw you again. We just didn't expect you had so many. If you don't clash with us during the selection 9 months later, they'll only target me. Your death would be blamed on taking too many high-quality foundation pills and advancing too quickly. Lu Guang shifted his tone. So I believed you and gave you the high-quality foundation pills, really gave you the jade slip. Brother Lu, you're wise. I really do have the jade slip. In truth, I never planned to join the selection I wanted to coast through for 9 months. But I don't trust that you hid it somewhere else. In today's life or death battle, you definitely have it on you, ready to save your own skin. Lu Guang aimed his sleeve arrow. Hand it over, and we go to the outer sect together. Or die right now. He had hit the mark. Zhao Wuji indeed had it hidden on him. Of course, his clothes were fine. Now, no need to hide it in that place. But Zhao Wuji knew even more clearly that once he handed it over, Lu Guang would kill him immediately. Death either way might as well take a gamble. It's really not on me. Search me if you don't believe it. Zhao Wuji deliberately spread his hands, making it seem like he was allowing a search, but he subtly shifted his stance, turning sideways to avoid his heart, and shielded his front with his palm. Caught in the net, there was no way to dodge. The only option was to cut off the tail to survive, sacrificing a palm, or even an arm to block the sleeve arrow, then charge forward with the steel fork. Zhao Wuji wasn't sure either, but there was no better option. If you want to search, you search the dead. Lu Guang decisively shot the sleeve arrow. Zhao Wuji had planned well, but when the sleeve arrow was fired, he had no time to react. Instinctively, he raised both hands to shield his face. His heartbeat and breath seemed to halt. Only one thought crossed his mind. With the force of the sleeve arrow, would he be shot dead here as well? What the hell? Hearing Lu Guang's mutter, Zhao Wuji snapped too. The sleeve arrow should have hit by now. Why wasn't there any pain? He couldn't help but move. No arrow had hit his body, nor his hand. Wasn't that Lu Guang's sleeve arrow? How could his aim be worse than mine, missing at such close range? But there was no time to think more. Lu Guang directly hurled the steel fork at him. Zhao Wuji's steel fork was awkward to use inside the net, but he could only use it to block. What the hell? This time, both of them cried out simultaneously. The steel fork disappeared just as it was about to reach the net. Just now, I didn't see the sleeve arrow and thought it missed due to poor aim, but now I clearly saw the steel fork vanish right before my eyes. Prepare to die. Watch my great disappearance technique. Zhao Wuji shouted in intimidation, but even he had no idea what was happening. The sleeve arrow disappeared, the steel fork disappeared. Could the net on my body also disappear? Strange thing happened again. As soon as he had the thought, the wild-born net on his body simply vanished. Lu Guang had never heard of any great disappearance technique. He was about to sneer when he saw the net on Zhao Wuji also disappear. He panicked. Could this kid have actually practiced some great disappearance technique? What if he makes me disappear? Lu Guang had used up his sleeve arrows, steel forks, and nets, so he didn't dare say another word and decisively turned to run. D. Zhao Wuji threw the steel fork in his hand. His skill was poor, so the force and accuracy were off. He only managed to hit Lu Guang with it, not pierce him. However, this strike made Lu Guang stumble and panic, buying some time. Zhao Wuji immediately grabbed Meng Fan's steel fork and charged, stabbing at Lu Guang's legs. With a scream, Lu Guang fell to the ground. Zhao Wuji thrust the fork again toward his head. Don't kill me. I'll teach you how to destroy the body. And too late. Zhao Wuji, a pure novice, couldn't control his attack like an expert, so the steel fork still pierced his head. Another one killed. With many lice, no itch; with many debts, no worry. After killing Lu Guang, Zhao Wuji was no longer as panicked as before. Where did the sleeve arrow and the steel fork go? This question was more urgent than disposing of the body. Zhao Wuji didn't want to be injured by a hidden arrow. Just now my palm blocked it. I thought about it, and the net disappeared, meaning there's no one else except for me. Zhao Wuji looked at his palm and finally noticed something unusual. The cauldron that his adoptive father had placed in his palm and vanished. Zhao Wuji had looked for it before, but couldn't find it. Now that he had entered the qi refining stage and had spiritual energy, could he sense it? It felt as if the cauldron was right there in his palm, not in the actual skin, flesh, or bones. It was as if it was anchored to his body through his palm, yet constructing a separate space. Zhao Wuji couldn't figure out, so he stopped analyzing. He felt that given his age, experience, and level of wisdom, it would be abnormal for him to understand. Divine Cauldron, did you help me? He tried asking, but there was no response of any kind. But Zhao Wuji sensed more clearly that within the cauldron floated miniaturized versions of 3 sleeve arrows, a steel fork, and a net. It seemed that the moment a thought flashed through his mind, the cauldron had taken him in. Zhao Wuji opened his hands and silently uttered a phrase. Spit them out. The sleeve arrows, steel fork, and net all appeared. Make the steel fork disappear, take the net in. Take in 1 sleeve arrow. In his excitement, Zhao Wuji couldn't help testing it, confirming that the divine cauldron could indeed take things in. It didn't require words or precise description, just a single thought was enough. He only spent a short while and had no time to explore other functions. What he needed to do now was to dispose of the bodies and destroy the evidence. Then, put all 3 corpses into the divine cauldron. Zhao Wuji thought it was feasible, but also rather disdainful of it. Lu Guang said, "Teach me how to dispose of the bodies." If they were prepared to kill, they must also be prepared to dispose of the bodies, right? Zhao Wuji immediately began to frisk them. Searching Lu Guang and Meng Fan was fine, but when he searched Lin Shui, he felt quite embarrassed the first time he touched a woman's body. It was a dead one. He didn't forget to pull out the sleeve arrows; those were exchanged for a foundation building pill. All 3 were carrying talismans. That's unusual. The talismans Zhao Wuji had heard about in the countryside were like when a village encountered ghosts and asked a great immortal for talismans to paste up for protection.